Hello there. Yes, welcome to Homo Politicus, and we turn attention to an interesting conversation in Nigeria today. Well, it's big news for those looking to renew or apply for an international passport in Nigeria, as there's a steep climb ahead. Now, beginning September 1, 2025, the 32-page 5-year passport will now cost 100,000 naira, and the 64-page 10-year version doubles that to 200,000 naira, a full 100% hike compared to previous rate. Now, what's even more striking about this is the fact that many Nigerians, a lot of civil servants still get around 70,000 naira per month, meaning that a new passport could cost more than an entire month's salary. And this isn't the first time. Just last year, the same passport increased from 35,000 naira to 50,000 naira for the 5-year page, for the 5-year duration, and then 70,000 naira to 100,000 naira for the 10-year passport. Now, the government, through the Nigerian Immigration Service, says the hike is critical for what? To maintain passport quality. Think better durability, anti-fraud features, more biometric centers, and domestic production of booklets. Still, Nigerians are not comfortable with that. They're not holding back. Some have said that the government is insensitive, while the senior presidential aide has pushed back at that, saying that at least now the money will go into government coffers for the same express service instead of private pockets. Well, let's get talking about this. And by the way, why does this feel so big right now? This isn't a small tweak. A passport is essential for travel, it's essential for education and for work abroad. Yet, it's increasingly out of reach for many persons. With the cost now eclipsing monthly wages or monthly salaries, if you like, that's the minimum wage, as we'd like to call that. This move raises serious questions about access, about equity as well. Welcome again to Homo Politicus. This is Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bassey is my name. Let's get talking about this today. It's an interesting conversation that has, torn social media apart, with some supporting the government move, other person saying, no, this is way too much. I'm joined today virtually by political commentator Benga and Yonuga Paul. Benga, many thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. Good day to you.
Yeah, welcome. Let me first start by saying, do you have your passport renewed? How long more do you have before you would renew your passport?
Well, the truth is, I had my passport renewed earlier this year.
Uh,
I think I went to collect it about a month or two ago. It was fast, it was straightforward, but then I spent a total of plus, the give and take. We Nigerians naturally we like all the shortcuts because when I try to do it online, I saw that the online is not going very well if you are doing it from Nigeria here. But from what I heard from my friends who are in the diaspora, they are always having good testimony saying that their online, registration and everything is going pretty fast. So I don't know why I had serious challenge registering it online. So I had to, look for friends within the agency to help me out. And the total amount of money I paid, give or take, was about 110 for the fast track for 32 pages. Now, I'm not trying to throw my people under the bus. I mean, those who help me, because if you ask me for their name or whatever, I will never give it to you. I don't care whether it's national security or not, because they did not force me. I was the one who wanted it fast. Somebody actually invited me to come and MC an event in the UK, and my previous passport had expired. So, and I needed to get it done pretty fast as possible. But from the testimonies of my friends in the diaspora, is that it's really pretty fast, that I do not need a third party from within the agency to help out before getting it done. So I just did my passport recently. And the funny thing was, I had other engagements outside the country, not to the UK now, that I could use my previous ECOWAS passport for, and I couldn't eventually go to the UK. So I didn't even go to collect it for more than a month or two after it has been done, despite paying for express. So that's the irony of it. But I just recently had my passport.
You, well, I'm not sure what to say really from your comments, opening comments. Let me just leave things to that. But let's get into the thick of things, right? But frankly speaking, this maybe is the reality of things on the streets of Nigeria across board, right?
Mm.
But let's talk about affordability and the necessity for this increment that we've seen, this recent increment this week, with these new fees exceeding the monthly minimum wage for many Nigerians. Some would say too, who is getting 70,000 naira minimum wage that would be looking to renew passport or to apply for one. But do you think that international travel is now gradually, I mean, before now, if it was luxury, do you think that is gradually, completely
Becoming
now a
ultra
luxury,
luxury.
you know, only for the elites, do you think?
I agree with you, and the excuse given by the government agency on why they increased the fee is very watery and it's shameful. I think their communication segment needs to do better. If you want to lie, lie as though you are lying to intelligent people. When you spew that kind of narrative as to the reason why you increase your fee for passport, it shows that you don't even rate Nigerians. You feel that Nigerians are not very intelligent, so you can tell them any lie through your teeth and then it will sail through. But having said that, I am neither here nor there as to the price. I believe that the reason why most people are shouting is not the increment to 100,000 naira. It is the issue of internal sabotage within the system because the Honorable Minister for Interior will not be at the issuing station, issuing passport by himself. Neither will the Controller General of Immigration be the one issuing by himself. But the staffs in the Nigerian Immigration Service, how many of them are altruistic and loyal to the country that they are not sabotaging the effort? Like I told you, when I tried to register online, as we've been made to understand that we could register online, we could even do our biometric capturing and everything online. It didn't go in Nigeria here. But within the last few days that this incident happened, on many of the WhatsApp platforms that I belong to, where I have my friends in the diaspora commenting on this issue, almost all of them are full of praise for the Nigerian Immigration Service, saying that 2 years ago they had to fly from one state to another, whether within the US or Canada or UK or Spain, where they are residing, in order to get their passport done. But it's a surprise that ever since the Honorable Minister Tunji Ojo came into the helms of affairs, that they get to do everything online and their passport delivered to their doorstep. So if it is happening for those in the diaspora like that, I believe that if it can happen the same way for me in Nigeria, that I don't need to visit NIS office before doing my capturing. I can do my capturing on my phone. I can do my biometric on my phone or on my laptop because my laptop has both the camera and the biometric signing. If I can do that, I don't need to go to NIS office to get it done. Then you will say that the 100,000 naira for 32 page works because those of us who are doing express, we are paying around the same amount anyways. We are, despite the fact that the official price is 50,000 naira at the moment for 32 page. But what Nigerians are afraid is that you will say it is 100,000 naira, but you have not been able to curb these internal saboteurs such that people still need to go through them if they want fast track, and they will end up, rather than paying 100,000 they used to pay before for fast track, now having to pay 150, 170, or even 200,000 now for a 32 page. And that is, I believe, the reason why many Nigerians are kicking against it. No Nigerians, irrespective of your party affiliation or belief, will fall amongst the ministers of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I don't think anyone will fault the Minister of Interior, Tunji Ojo, because his works are speaking for him. But what we are not sure about is that despite this increment, have they been able to clean up their houses so properly that we will not even need to step in, if need be, into the Nigerian immigration office, and we'll get all of these things done. We'll even get our passports sent to our home right here in Nigeria, like the people in the diaspora are testifying to have been enjoying. I believe that is the main concern of Nigerians, why many are shouting about these things. And I believe that the reason why they did this, the reason why I said government lied and that their lie was very watery, is that they are looking for ways to curb this emigration of the working citizens out of the country. You know, a lot of youths are going out of the country in a process we refer to as JAPA, you know, to use their brain and their energy to develop other countries. And they are trying to look for a way to stem the tide. But if this is the best they could come up with to stem the tide, I believe that they did not think it through. Because somebody who wants to japa with 22 million naira, with 20, I mean, we've been hearing of the ridiculous amount people have to save up or top up to relocate to other countries. So is it 200,000 naira for 10 years passport or 100,000 naira for 5 years passport that will be different? No. Rather, we should do something about making our country work so that nobody will be interested in leaving the country. Rather, those who have left will want to come back because they know that the country is working now. And this price increment, sorry,
Yes.
let me quickly add this. This price increment does not speak to Nigerian immigration alone. Almost all government parastatals now, to renew your driver's license now, they've increased the price recently. To even Bande, Bandi, Bansi, they've done increments recently.
Electricity tariff.
Almost everything in Nigeria, even insurance. Insurance, that how much we used to do insurance, like is 5,000 naira. They've increased it about a year or two ago. So all of these things, I don't think it speaks well about this current government, who says it has saved a lot of money from subsidy, and yet you have saved a lot of money from subsidy removal, yet you are adding to the burden of Nigerians who are already overburdened by, you know, increasing the price of almost every government things. You know, almost all government parastatals now are revenue generation parastatal rather than service delivery parastatal, and that does not speak well for us.
For some persons, you know, they've compared this, you know, this price, this increment by the Nigerian government to other countries, and they, you know, they claim that Nigerians have been paying low compared to other countries. As a matter of fact, do you think now that, you know, we'll be paying one of the highest in the continent or globally? Because some persons have placed side by side what we've been paying in the past compared to what other countries have been paying, and they say, okay, maybe this is not entirely justified, but the government is still in line. This is not too much. What do you think?
Well, I think it is too much. Let's not deceive ourselves that it's not too much. But like the popular Yoruba saying that "Obe togun, owo lo pa," soup wey sweet na money kill am. That is why I'm neither here nor there. If you want to compare, government has no justification to increase, because Nigeria is the only country where people get their international passport for almost 200%, about 145 or 147% of the minimum wage. In most other countries, it's about 4%, 2.5%, 5%. The highest is 14% of minimum wage in most countries, including African countries, you know. But as in when you are comparing it with the minimum wage of those countries. So if they are telling us that, oh, because it is $80 in US or $126 in US, and if you convert dollar to naira, that our own is still cheaper. They should not forget that while our workers earn a minimum wage of 70,000 naira, the minimum wage of a legal resident of US is about 1,900 US dollar, be 6,400. I think it's pounds that is 1,900 pounds. So if you compare it from that angle, our price for passport is really very, very expensive, and the government does not have any excuse. They do not have any justification for the increment. But we cannot compare ourselves also with this developed country, because we are a developed nation where a government has come on board to try and drain the swamp. And in draining the swamp, sometimes it is going to cost a lot more. A lot of things, we have to close eyes to do a lot of things. Take, for example, when the government removed the subsidy, it pained us. In fact, I'm one of those who, if you use the street language, they worship me. I'm one of those who cursed them, despite the fact that I belong to the party in power. But the reality is that we are beginning to see the work of the subsidy removal, even in our locality. Let me give you an example. Just recently, I heard that in my state, the salary paid to councillors in my local government is now about 752,000 or thereabout, which was not so before. They were earning about 400 before for councillors. And you see, what this does is that the councillor has more money now to do something out of pocket for people in his vicinity. Apart from that, I also heard that recently they released money for constituency projects for councillors, for supervisors, and several of them, which had not happened in a long while in Ogun State. I mean, the last time when councillors had serious money to do something tangible in their ward in Ogun State was maybe during the tenure of Otumba Gbenga Dande, which is about almost 16 years now, ago. So the impact of that subsidy removal is working. This one that they are doing with immigration is painful. We can say it is ill time, but there is no better time or good time to start anything. We
All
just
right.
need to start once now. When you wake up
What?
to your good morning. So
Yeah.
that is why I don't want to dwell too much on the economic justification. What I just don't want government to do is rub it in on our face and make us feel as if we are unintelligent. When they are saying that our price is cheapest, it's not it's like rubbing it in our face and saying we are unintelligent. Internet has allowed us to know what other countries do vis-a-vis what people earn as
All right.
minimum wage.
Part of the government's justification is that, is regarding quality, is regarding security and reducing fraud. Again, there are questions about this 100% hike. We know that according to reports, there's a Malaysian company that produces passports for Nigerians, for Nigeria, and this same Malaysian country produces passports for other countries as well. And we hear that's a private company. It's said to be very expensive to do these things. And again, think quality, think security, think about the technical things that go to that. And that's why government has put forward this justification. But you have spoken a lot about this. Let's talk about something you slightly mentioned, and that's the impact this would have, on the diaspora, right? How do you think this would affect students, job seekers, professionals as well, who would be planning to, study or to work abroad? Could this slow down migration?
No. I don't think it will stop down migration, and I don't think it will affect them negatively, because majority of those who are doing that, seeking job abroad, whatever, have already saved up millions. So the 100,000 and the 200,000 is just a drop in the ocean. Rather, I think on the long run, if they do in-house cleaning and there is no internal sabotage, such that people can get their passports seamlessly in Nigeria, the same way our people in diaspora have been praising the Nigerian Immigration Service, what will happen is that more people will be able to process their passports faster and therefore be able to jump out of the country faster and better. So the money will not have the impact of reducing outflow of people. Rather, it will increase the outflow of people, because now one of the things that delay them, they can now get it done pretty fast and easily. And let me quickly talk about, printing our passport in Malaysia. We are printing our passport in Malaysia not because we don't have Nigerian companies that have the expertise to do this thing. It is simply because those who are in government at the time when those contracts was outsourced to a Malaysian company, I can tell you for free, I don't have evidence in black and white, but as somebody who works in production and I've seen how things are done by Nigerian elites in many places, I can tell you that it is because of the kickback and whatever they want to get that it's easy to get out of the country through the Malaysian company than dealing with a Nigerian company. Because if you are dealing with a Nigerian company, you are paying him in Nigeria, and whatever kickback he gives you, you have to look for a way to repatriate that money. But if you are dealing with a Malaysian company, they are going to repatriate their monies anyway. And you can always go to the back end there and collect your share of the money. And that is what I believe made them, outsource this contract to an outside company. And that is the biggest security breach, not any internal security breach. Because with a Malaysian company handling it, those Malaysian companies probably employ Chinese, Vietnamese, Taiwanese people in their company to do work. So we have absolutely no control about the security of our passport. It is what they tell us, it is whatever security they tell us is available that we will accept that it's available. But if we are to print within the country, which I don't think justify any reason for increment, we will still be able to maintain the old price and print. And that's why for me, I feel that all the excuse that the government gave to justify their increment is watery, and it's like looking at Nigeria and saying, after all, we know that you people, you are not even wise, so you should not, go and look for watertight excuse to give you. And that's why I am angry with them. But if I look at it politically, I don't think that it is wrong, in all fairness, given the giant stride that this minister have achieved, that's particularly the Minister of Interior have achieved in the immigration service. The thousands of backlog of passports that he cleared off, when he came in, and also the e-gating system and several other improvements that he has brought in. So I believe that those areas of infrastructural enlargement, they need more money. But should it be the burden of the people? Because some of these things are social services by the government to its people. Because having a passport of your country is a right. It's not a privilege or whatever. It's supposed to be a right. And that is why, for me, I don't justify whatever reason they give as the reason for increment. But then I also know that, well, given the growth that we have witnessed, we should give them a chance and watch closely, and hopefully it will make us enjoy the services being brought to us from NIS more.
Well, would leave things there as regards this, the point of view of transparency, of public trust, with some Nigerians claiming too that, well, while this is a burden on Nigerians, they want government to ensure accountability and prevent, the same level of corruption you've talked about. That they say, the government said this will curb corruption, so Nigerians are now saying, well, you have to find a way to close the gaps so that this same corruption you're talking about can be curbed and this hike will be justified. Well, Benga Yonuga Paul has been my guest today, political commentator, has been talking to me about this increment. You too can stop by the comment section and let me know what you think. Would you be renewing your passport sometime soon? And what's your plan, really? You willing to part with 100,000 naira to get the 32-page 5-year passport? Or you want 200,000 naira? Or you want to part with 200,000 naira to get the 64-page 10-year passport? You can stop by the comment section. Let me know if you feel justified, if you feel like the justification put forward by the government works or goes down well with you. They've mentioned security, they've mentioned quality, and the fact that, oh well, there's some technical things regarding this. Again, Benga, many thanks for joining me today.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Appreciate that. And well, that's the conversation. Homo Politicus. Today we'll continue to track development in the country and around the world as regards politics and governance and bring those your way. On Homo Politicus here at Enterprise Television. Kingsley Bass is my name. At this point I say to you, may God continue to bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Bye for now.